Welcome to MLC TV News Hour, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the Confluence State of Nigeria. I am Jane Balagbubu. First, the headlines. FAAC shares 725.571 billion naira match revenue to federal government, state, local government council. 1,000 storms APC Secretariat at Yahaya Bello picks nomination forms. And Liverpool beats VILLARREAL 2-0 in Champions League. Now the news in detail. The Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, has shared a total sum of over 7 billion naira March 2022 Federation account revenue with the federal, state and local governments. This is contained in a communique issued at the end of a virtual meeting of the FAAC for April 2022. The over 7 billion naira total distributable revenue comprised statutory revenue of over 5 billion naira and value-added tax revenue of over 200 billion naira. In March 2022, the total deductions for the cost of the collection were over 44 billion naira and the total deductions for statutory transfers, refunds and savings were over 382 billion naira. In a statement issued in Abuja by Henshaw Ugubike, Director Information Press and Public Relations Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, the balance in the excess crude account is over $35 million. The communique confirmed that from the total distributable revenue of over 725 billion naira, the federal government received over 277 billion naira, the state government received over 227 billion naira, and the local government council received over 167 billion naira. Gross statutory revenue of over 933 billion naira was received for the month, which was higher than the over 429 billion naira received in the previous month by over 503 billion naira. The sum of over 35 billion naira cost of collection and over 376 billion naira being amount for transfers, refunds and savings were deducted from the over 933 billion naira. Refunds and savings were deducted from the over 933 billion naira gross statutory revenue, resulting in the distributable statutory revenue of over 521 billion naira from the 521 billion naira distributable statutory revenue. From the over 521 billion naira distributable statutory revenue, the federal government received over 246 billion naira, the state government received over 125 billion naira, and the local government councils received over 96 million naira. From the over 521 billion naira distributable statutory revenue, the federal government received over 246 billion naira, the state government received over 125 billion naira, and the local government councils received the sum of over 53 billion naira was shared with the relevant states as 13% derivation revenue. In the month of March 2022, the gross revenue available from the value-added tax was over 219 billion naira. This was higher than the over 177 billion naira available in the month of February 2022 by the over 41 billion naira. And 8.780 billion naira cost of the collection were deducted from the over 219 billion naira gross value-added tax. And 8.780 billion naira cost of the collection were deducted from the over 219 billion naira gross value-added tax revenue, resulting in the distributable VAT revenue of over 204 billion naira. From the over 204 billion naira distributable VAT revenue, the federal government received over 30 billion naira, the state government received over 102 billion naira, and the local government councils received over 71 billion naira. The Environmental Rights Action Friends of the Earth Nigerian has urged the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria to return to its oil spill impacted sites at Ikarama in the Yenagua local government area of Bayelsa State and carry out proper cleanup and remediation of the community's environment. This was contained in a field report released to journalists in Yenagua following a visit by the environmental rights group's field officers to the Ikarama environment. In the report signed by the head of ERA FOAN office in Bayelsa, Alagua Morris, the group explained that the visit followed a fresh alarm raised by the community that the heavy presence of crude oil in the ground stopped the preparation of land for fish pond. It said the complaint was coming from the community residents 8 months after a joint visit by the National Oil Spill Detection Agency, Shell, error (FOEN) to an impacted site near the location of the planned fish pond on August 20, 2021, and a follow-up joint visit by the agency, the oil firm, and the organization. The report quoted one of the immediate past youth president of Ikarama, Benjamin Wada, who said his efforts in mobilizing resources to prepare a fish pond in his family land at the Ekperikiri swamp had been rendered futile as crude oil came out from the ground and covered the entire space while the excavator was working. The organization alleged that SPDC's improper cleanup and non-remediation of all spill-impacted sites in the Ikarama environment was responsible for the fresh sight of unmitigated crude oil in the ground. The report further stated Shell should return to the Ikarama spill-impacted sites and carry out cleanup and remediation without further delay. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) says it has written letter to political parties asking for access to conduct drug integrity tests on political aspirants seeking political offices in the 2023 elections. Chairman, Chief Executive of the agency, Mohammed Buba Marwa, said this became necessary to have men and women of noble characters in exalted office. According to him, for politicians, they have long advocated that when they run for public office, it demands a lot of responsibility from the person, and they need to be certain if he's a person that is already a drug addict user who will spend all the money he's given for public service to consume cocaine, and his head will not be in a stable condition to handle the affairs he has been entrusted with. The NDLEA boss said the drug test is also necessary for government appointees, disclosing that Kano State government has already keyed into the integrity drug test. Marwa spoke in Abuja while presenting awards to deserving commands and officers for best performances in the first quarter of 2022. While addressing officers and men of the agency present at the event, recognizing and rewarding hard work and excellence has always been a pragmatic way of stimulating productivity and enhancing the attainment of organizational goals. Making it a tradition for the agency is their way of enshrining meritocracy in the system. The agency spokesman Femi Babafemi said 56 command officers were rewarded for excellent service delivery. We go on a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now on politics.
EYB. Governor Yahaya Bello, a man of many parts. GYB, a great tenacious leader.
You are a leader, a natural leader, a governor of a state, and the state has been very peaceful thanks to your efforts, thanks to your tenacity. Whenever you blow that trumpet, the whole country must hear you. Because the demography of this country supports you so greatly.
The pride of the nation.
You've been a pride to the youth of this country. You've been a pride to our party, the APC.
I want to say that His Excellency the Governor is the shield of the APC in Nigeria and beyond. And if you don't mind, I would prefer to call him Sarkin Yakin APC in Nigeria.
A political strategist.
There are only two people in the APC that give me headache. I'm worried about Governor Yahaya Bello because of some of the footprints I see him doing. And he's young, he can connect to the right audience. I've seen that of all of them, he's the only one who has been consistently taking steps to try to cut people.
Governor Yahaya Bello, a trailblazer.
Let the other governors go to Kogi and study. They have a Northern Governors Forum. Yeah, they do. Let them meet and ask themselves, how has this young man, who happens to be about the youngest of the governors running the second term, how has he succeeded? That is what they are not doing.
Unity and peace advocate.
They have succeeded in uniting the people the more. Nobody's talking about the whether you are from the west or central or the east, So everybody today could lay claim to the state as our state because you have sense of belonging. Your people are not marginalized. Any part of the state is oppressed.
He is our hero.
It's only Governor Yahaya Bello that I know that has given so much position to women. He has given us that opportunity. Please, let's not be selfish with that position.
GYB, trustworthy leader.
Anybody who is playing politics with the civil servants of Kogi State today should be careful. They should not use us to play politics. They should engage us and discuss with us frankly and what they really have on hand to offer Kogi workers. Let us see different from their own.
Leadership with inclusion.
All the other governors in Nigeria, please emulate a governor like Yahaya Bello. Don't give us only SA and PAs and all that in disabilities. Appoint us into other respective offices where we can work and show you that we have capacity to deliver.
A polypath and pace setter.
He has an eagle eye to discover potentials in human beings. He discovered me, unveiled me to the world, and I'm where I am today.
Governor Yahaya Bello, prudent and accountable.
Rating of the state has been very, very high in terms of accountability. When the SIFTAS results that was undertaken by World Bank came out in 2017, Kogi State came second. And 2018, Kogi State came first. And then 2019, we also repeated the first position.
Inclusive leadership.
I must appreciate the contribution of the vibrant young governor of Kogi State, who detests crime and have always been rendering helping hands to nip crime not only in his state, but across the country at large. I doff my hat for Governor Yahaya Bello, the support the special forces have been receiving from him. If all governors could emulate, in terms of providing strategic information, I think the peace we have been yearning for will soon be close to us.
Arawani, Yahaya Bello, Arawani, Babanye, Arawani,
This is who Governor Yahaya Bello is. This message is brought to you by Friends of GYB.
The presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress APC, Governor Yahaya Bello, on Wednesday picked up his expression of interest and nomination form to contest for the 2023 presidential election. Bello, who was the first to pay the 100 million naira required for the forms, was received by a mammoth crowd of party faithful and support groups from across the country, who have been urging him to run for presidency. Addressing the people that had come to welcome him, Bello said the task is to canvass and consult for all party faithful for their support.
This is the hope we are yearning for. This is the unity we are yearning for. This is the progress we are yearning for. This is the security we are yearning for. We achieved it in Kogi State, and we are going to achieve it in Nigeria and build on the successes of President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you very much.
Governor Bello said he's coming on the table to restore hope for Nigerians, for the entire black Africans, and for the entire black nation across the world. On the call on Jonathan to join the race, he said it is the beauty of democracy. In democracy, anybody can push for, vie for, and support anyone. But he assured the people of the All Progressives Congress, said it's a party that has its own ethics, rules, and regulations, and that he's sure of victory. Director General Hope 23 Yahaya Bello Campaign Organization, Hafsat Abiola Costello, said the fact that Bello was the first candidate to pay for the nomination forms demonstrated sincerity of purpose. She said that Bello's action was a demonstration that the young people were ready to take the leadership of Nigeria. She said they are looking forward to the support of the delegates of APC, looking forward to the support of Nigerians when they get to the presidential campaign. God willing, in 2023, they will be welcoming President Yahaya Bello to Aso Rock. Congratulations to all Nigerians, Abiola Costello said. A presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, Aminu Tambuwal, has said he possessed the characteristics required to lead Nigeria. According to Tambuwal, he is the best presidential candidate Nigerians would elect during the 2023 election. Tambuwal said this Wednesday evening during an interactive meeting with a forum of former ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the platform of the PDP at Asokoro, Abuja. Explaining that his quest for the topmost job in the country is driven by altruism, patriotism, and unity of the nation, he said it is nothing personal. It is all about the country burnishing his tripodal credentials that cut across the executive, legislature, and judiciary. He emphasized that he has a fair understanding of the country where, unfortunately, things are now getting worse. To remedy the situation, he reiterated the need for the PDP to have a credible candidate like himself who have done quite a lot in Sokoto in view of the resources at the administration's disposal, enumerating some of these achievements as prompt payment of salary, pension, and the overhauling of healthcare delivery, education, and more. He offered that the antidote to this is for the collective and collectivity of all in the PDP and Nigerians who understand the gravity of what is going on to come together and salvage the country. This, he opined, can be done only through processes and conventions that will throw up a credible candidate. Earlier in his remarks, the chairman of the Ministers' Forum, Kabiru Tanimu Turaki-san, said the group agreed to have this sensitive interactive session with him because 2023 is very serious business. Turaki, who said the forum had turned down similar requests from other aspirants, said there's a failure of leadership in the country. Now on crime. Zamfara state government announced the deposition of 2 emirs and a district head for allegedly aiding banditry in their domains. Bandits have for years been terrorizing communities in the state. The monarch's deposition comes 10 months after they were initially suspended by the state government. Their suspension followed wide allegations of serious involvement in banditry. The state government listed the dethroned traditional rulers as the Emir of Zomi, Abubakar Atiku, and Emir of Dansadao, Hussein Umar. District head of Birnin Sabah, Suleiman Ibrahim, was also removed by the state government. State Commissioner for Information Ibrahim Magaji Dosara announced the decision of the government to newsmen shortly after the council meeting. Dosara said the council upheld the recommendation of a 6-man white paper committee set up by the state government to review the report of 2 separate committees set up earlier to probe the involvement of the 2 emirs and district head in aiding banditry in the state. He added that the findings of the committees also revealed abuse of Land Act in their domains, noting that government had to revoke all lands illegally allocated by them and the land titles they issued. Now on foreign news. Millions of Indians are experiencing a brutal heat wave that is throwing lives and livelihoods out of gear, and there is no relief in sight. The India Meteorological Department IMD has forecast a gradual rise in maximum temperatures by 2 to 4 Celsius over most parts of northwestern and central India this week, with no large change thereafter. While heat waves are common in India, especially in May and June, summer began early this year with high temperatures from March itself. Average maximum temperatures in the months were the highest in 122 years. Heat waves also began setting in during the months. The Center of Science and Environment, a think tank, says that early heat waves this year have affected around 15 states, including the northern states of Himachal Pradesh, known for its pleasant temperatures. This week, the mercury in the capital, Delhi, is expected to cross 44 Celsius. Naresh Kumar, a senior scientist at IMD, attributes the current heat wave to local atmospheric factors. The effects are visible. Farmers say the unexpected temperature spikes have affected their wheat harvest, a development that could potentially have global consequences given supply disruptions due to the Ukraine war. The heat has also triggered an increase in power demand, leading to outages in many states and fears of a coal shortage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also flagged the increased risk of fires due to rising temperatures. Roxy Matthew Cole, a climate scientist at the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, agrees that several atmospheric factors have led to the current heat wave. Let's join Jonah Malik for the sports update.
On sports update, Liverpool are on the brink of a third Champions League final in 5 seasons after breaking Villarreal's resistance to win the first leg of their UEFA Champions League semi-final 2-0 at Anfield on Wednesday night. 2 goals in 2 minutes undid Villarreal's boss Unai Emery's defensive game plan as Pervis Estupiñán deflected Jordan Henderson's cross into his own net before Sadio Mane slotted in the second. The Reds remain on course for an unprecedented quadruple of Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup and League Cup, and bearing a huge upset when the side meets again in southern Spain in 6 days' time. Liverpool's season will finish in Paris on May 28. Meanwhile, the Europa League semi-final comes up on Thursday night. Leipzig meets with Rangers while West Ham United Meanwhile, the Europa League semi-final comes up on Thursday night. Leipzig meets with Rangers while West Ham United and Frankfurt slug it out in the other semi-final in the Europa League. And that's sports update on MLC TV. I am Malik Jonah reporting. Back to our casters for more stories.
Thank you, Jonah, for the updates. And that is the size of our package today. Join us tomorrow at this same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachi TV, like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, and Twitter at MLC TV1. For your events, coverage, information, contribution, advert, and sponsorship, please call any of the numbers displayed on your screen. Join us Fridays and Saturdays to watch our special programs. Fridays 9 p.m. Local Government and You, Saturdays 7 p.m. Family Affairs, Saturday 9 p.m. Political Arena, and Sunday 6 p.m. Women's World. It is Malachi TV reaching everywhere, informing everyone. I am Jenji Abalagbubu. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society together. Good evening and bye for now.